Yes, Sanjay.
Good morning, guys. So today we will see the custom component events. The events or nothing but to file and to perform some specific kind of actions. Yesterday you have seen the some of the events which are provided by the ARA framework. That's like value change, or let's say if you want to file some navigations or something, you can do the actions there, right? So show toast, those are some kind of events provided by the Aura framework. And so those are all for some specific actions to be performed. We will be using them. These custom component events, or let's say custom application events. These events are the custom events what we are going to create to pass the values from one component to another component. Events are used to pass the values from one component to another component to communicate one component with each other component. We can use the events. There are two kind of events: component events, application events. Okay, in component events will be used to communicate in the same container, and application events will be used to be listened from each and every component in the container. Okay, so I'll give an example for the component event, and there are two propagations in the component events. This is very much important. A phase, we used to say two things. One is capture phase, capture propagation. Second one is bubble. This is default. We don't give any phase, then bubble phase will be used. There is another capture. So usually there will be inside the container. Let's say this is one application, or let's say one component. Okay, inside this, if you have two or three, so one component and component two and component three, component four. Okay, we have these many components. In this case, if we want to pass the values from component 1 to through the component 4, means top to bottom in the hierarchy, from root to source. Okay, from root to source, if you want to pass the values, then you can use capture propagation. If you want to pass the values from source to root, means if the event is filed at the last component, then you want to send the details to the component 1, which is on the higher hierarchy, then we can use bubble phase. Okay, now let's go ahead and create events, and we'll see how it will be used. How can see in the events, all this. So in each and every event, there will be three things. Okay? One is steps will be first one, create a component. Sorry, create an event. Okay. Second one, register the event. This is for custom events, what you are going to create. For this standard events, you have already seen how to fire and how to capture that one. Okay, register the event inside the component. Third one, fire the component. Oh, sorry, fire the event. Here, set the params and fire. Set the parameters. Fourth one, fire the event. Fifth one, handle the event. Okay, so these are the steps. First, you have to create an event inside the Salesforce, then register the event inside the component and set the parameters, fire the event, handle the event, wherever you want to see. Let's say you have the component 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here you want to pass some message from component 4 to component 2. Okay, then what you can do is you can create one component event, then register that event in the component 4, then file, set the parameters, file the event. Then wherever you want to handle that, mean receive the message, whatever the message you are going to send from component 4, then whatever the receiver, let's say you need to send the message from component 4 to component 2, then component 2 will be the receiver. Then inside the component 2, you need to write handler there. Okay, so let's create one component event and we'll see this. First, I'm going to use the lightning component event. Okay, so I'm giving the name like CMP event. Okay, CMP event. Very simple. See, this will be by default application. If you want to create application event, just keep it as application. If you want to create component event, then change it component event. That's it. Okay. So here inside this one, if you whatever you want to pass from one component to another component, what values you need to pass, then define the attributes. You know this how to define attributes. For a name equals to message. Something I'm giving string type equals to string. Okay, so this will be, and even if you want to give default equals to NU. Like this, you can write any number of attributes or attribute to message. Can do something type equals to part to 0. So like this, you can have any number of attributes. For testing, I'm giving, for demoing this component functionality, I have created two attributes here. One is string type, second one is integer type. Okay, let's go and create component 1, component 2, something like this. Okay, first typing component event CMP1. This is the event. Going to create one lightning component. Okay. Event CMP1. Okay. I'm not implementing any of these interfaces. Okay. Inside this one, this is the event I'm going to handle. So I need to go, I'm going to display this message. Let's say Aura name equals to message type equals to string one number. Means I'm going to file or file the value from here. Let's say else you can use teacher. Okay, using this one like this. So very simple. What I'm trying to do is I'm going to send these two numbers, I mean two attribute values to another component. This is the child component. Here I'm going to use UI following put text. Okay, just go ahead and check this lightning input. There will be one thing value equals to. Okay, so lightning input. Always go ahead and check in the component library bundle because so what attributes are very much required, you might not know this. See here input, so there will be numbers, input type equals to date or type equals to number, whatever it is, you see here time input, file input, text input. We want to give the text input, so here is input label. Okay, then value you can give. Okay, what you can do, input text. Let's use this one. Input and then here to value equals to message. Message. Okay, this is one, and I'm going to give another put name equals to her. You can give any value here, any name you can give it. Her means I'm going to give one message, one text value, and one number value. Okay, then I'm going to use button. So my thing is when I click on button, then these values, message and number value should be sent to the parent, or this is the last component. There is a child component, it will be sent to the parent component. Okay, let's go ahead and use lightning button. Lightning. This is basic. This is plan. Right? Label equals to file unit. I'm giving file. Okay. Then handle click. I'm giving this one. So these you guys have already seen how to write the attributes and how to click the button on click what action it has to be done. So this action you have to write inside the controller. So till now you guys have already done. So next here our example is to fire the event. So I have already explained. First create an event. Yes, we have created the event. Then register the event, right? Register the event. So register the event like our registered event. Okay. You need that. Go ahead and search for event. Just try some examples. Okay, you can get some kind of syntaxes. Okay. See here, first create this, then registered event. This is okay. Same way. What you need? Name equals to give some event. Registered event. Name equals to CMP event. I'm giving like this. And type equals to namespace. By default, it will be C. Then colon. What is the event name? CMP event. Done. Okay. So now this event is registered. Then how can you find the event? Okay. File event equals to, you can give any name, component dot get event of, what is the name you have given here? Name is this one. Get off this event. Okay, so here you have registered the event and then we have to file the event here. Get the event, then set the parameters. CMP event dot set params. Okay, what are the attributes we have? Same names you have to give here. Message, because this is the value we have. Message. Okay. Find from CMP event. CMP CMP1. Then what is another attribute? Number. Be careful that whenever you want to pass the values from one component to another component, then you have to use the events. Okay. Number you can give like 100. Events are done. Then finally, what you need to do, you have to fire the event. CMP event dot fire. Set. Okay. So this is how you have to send the value. So now here in this event, what we are trying to do is we have two attributes. One is message and the one is number. Then for to having the values for these two attributes, we have two input attributes, I mean two input tags, one for message and for number. When you click on this file, then immediately it is throwing this event or it is just firing the event then to send the values to some other component. Okay. Now, so I'm going to create another component. See, we need one or more, two or more components, right? So here, int CMP parent, I'm saying this. So here I need to send the values from event CMP1 to event CMP parent. Okay, here the values, same attributes you can use, because once that is fired, to capture the values we need attributes again. So what I'm trying to do is to get those same. Okay, next what I'm trying to do is do just sending the values, received values, this is here I'm using v dot message dot number. Okay, I'm going to access these values in the component 2. Okay, it's the component 2. So here we have already seen this. Fire the event. Event is fired, then we need to handle that event or catch that event. For that we need another tag, aura handler name equals to, okay, what the name, whatever the event name you have given, same name should be there. Okay, type equals to C colon event CMP event. Okay, action on handler should always be handled using the action. C dot fill. This is very much important. It's invalid name attribute. Two, sorry, event equals to action equals to what type of event it is, action. So whenever you need to fire, you need to give the name type equals to, then whenever you want to handle that event, you have to give event equals to, then action. Okay, so this one, go ahead and create. This is the action. So here, once the values are fired, now here you just try to understand that this is the event, component event you have created. So here in the component event CMP1, you are setting some message and setting some value, then trying to send these values to this another component using this firewall. So here message, what I am going to use is component dot get off v dot message. Same way, component dot get off dot number. Okay, it's two values I'm going to send to the another event called event CMP paper. Whenever you send the values to the component which is CMP event, so that event will be handled using this action. Okay, the values will be inside the event, not in the component for now. So what I'm trying to do is component set of v dot message, then event dot get param of v dot message. give message. So here you are setting values from parameter. Then p dot number. So these values, whatever you are saying, event dot get parent, right? These values are the parameters from the event. These are same name should be given. So when you are filing the event, you have to set the values for these attributes. When you are getting the values, whenever in the handler, you have to use same values. Okay. Now let's go ahead and create one container component. Event CMP container. Okay, this I'm going to create as a tab. Save it. So inside this, I'm going to use C colon. First one, event CMP parent and CMP parent. Okay, again C colon event CMP. Okay, so here we have two components, and then let's create this as the tab. CMP. CMP content. Save this. The applications here token is so received values are nothing. We don't have any values. Let's go on test message. Please 200. So now it's not showing anything. Fire. When you fire it, so you just pause the recording, verify why it's not. So I only did the mistake. So I have created multiple components, but I need to maintain. The parent means it should be in the same container. So here, event parent, there is not actual parent. Let's delete this. So here, see this, parent, this is the parent. So parent means inside the parent component, you have to call the child. So then only it will be called as this is the child and this will be the parent. The component whatever we have, this component is called as parent, and whatever we have inside this component, that's called child component. So as I told you that in source, this is the root, means starting. This is the source. This is the root and this is the source. So from bottom to higher, if you want to pass, then we can call it as a component event. Phase is bubble. Okay. So by default phase is bubble phase it is. Okay. So this is component event. Now if you see this, you when whatever the values you want to pass from child to parent, you can pass through the events here. Okay. So any questions on this, guys? Just note down this one better. I hope you guys have understand this one. Any questions on this? So I'll give some examples on the application event. Just simply what you can do. So here you can give application as the event type. Then what you can do? Same registration. So register event like this one. Then while firing the event, actually you don't need to register. So while firing the event, you don't need to get event. So $a dot get you can use. Okay, let me give one example on this. Okay, let's go ahead and create one application event. App event. Okay, here default is application itself. Name. I'm just passing some message only. You can pass any type of values. Message equals type equals to string. Okay, I'm passing only one. Then, so you have to hand over the multiple components if you want. Okay, typing component CMP CMP one and this one. So for the application event, just use our attribute equals to sage type equals to string. Okay, then default value if you want to give, can use our lightning put type equals to text label equals to your message is to you dot message. Okay, then put lightning button, lightning button equals to label is to by on click see. Okay, simple one text box and then just simply firing the event, nothing other than that. Then so I'm going to create here. I'm not registering anything, simply getting it. Okay, where app event equals to $a dot get off e dot c dot. Okay, e dot c dot. Then what is the event name? App event. Okay, again same app event set params. Okay, message comment dot get off dot message. semicolon.
Uh, line number
So
6 app
E is
event
added.
spelling mistake
What
is
is it?
there.
Dot file. Okay, so firing the application event. Generally, you have to register the event here also. Like, so let's try that, whether it is firing or not. So mostly it's not required. We'll see how it works. Okay.
Label
And
also spelling mistake, Anjay. Label.
which label? Okay. So text name label, that is fine. So next thing, we'll create another component event component CMP2. So it will not be in the parent and child relationship. See here, it's not the parent. So here, the attribute is to sage type equals to string sage string v dot message. So here you need to handle this application event. Handler, okay, application event handler. Type equals to event equals to C action equals to C dot handle event. Okay, so handle event, go and create this handle event. Component dot set of v dot message to event dot get param of message. Okay, so this will not be in the same container. So let's create one container application component. It may be the application or it may be the component. And event container. Giving this one. So inside this, using C colon, what is this? App event CMP2. CM2. Amp event CMP1. This. Now let's create one tab for it. So we'll see we have not registered the event here. Let's see how it goes. This slide try to change. Go ahead and create another component tab. I'm giving what is the class and component name, app event container. So I'm giving app event. So go here. Test. Okay. So have to be registered with. It's not filed. So only the difference is just how to get the event. Our register event name equals to app event type equals to C colon app event. So here get then two refresh. It's not giving. So we can pause this just a minute.